quick shifts and get off the ice here. Little bag skate.
No McDavid, taking the morning skate. It's, oh my, it's trouble in paradise. We're talking about practice? Practice? We're going to talk about practice?
Trouble.
Game on?
Hey, game on. Grab the net, sticks in the middle. Welcome to a special pregame edition of Straight Off the Pipe with Dash and Durst. Sitting in the box beside me is the second most handsome Dursa that has ever been on this podcast. But we're on to talk about the Rangers tonight and a little bit about what we can do for tonight's game. The Rangers are 9-3-2 at home. The Oilers have gone 8-6-2 away from home. In their last meeting, November 5th, Edmonton won 6-5. Jessel Pujärvi scored 2 goals for the Oilers. We're coming off of a 2-game losing streak. The Rangers are trying to end a 3-game losing streak. What's it all mean, Dursa?
Well, these headphones, I feel like I'm, just 1 second here. Ready to, I got them on backwards. Hang on 1 sec. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all lanes clear for takeoff. I'm your air traffic controller. Let's fucking go. We need a win. We need a win right now. So, start McDavid right off the hop and score first and don't look back. It's more than time for this team to win a hockey game. It's been ugly for a while. And I'm tired of being sad and depressed, and I'm sure everyone in that dressing room is too. So let's win a game. I feel like this is like the Rangers are a pretty good team, but I feel like this is a winnable game for this group. It's probably going to be a high octane back and forth kind of game, and I sort of like our chances in that style of affair. Rangers do have they do have good goaltending, so it's not going to be easy to score goals, but I think there's going to be lots of chances tonight.
Is tonight a must-win?
Oh, man, it's been must-win for a while here. I mean, how much bleeding do you let go on before you totally bleed out? They have to win a game on this road trip, and we're running out of runway here. There's not a lot left. Go ahead. If you go 0 on this trip, I don't see how people saved their jobs. I really don't.
People being the key comment in that sentence there, I guess. Yeah, we turned 16-5 into 12-8 real fast. Went from the best winning percentage in the West to wherever we are now. It's do or die, I think, for sure. This team needs a win for their confidence. They need a win for their coach. This isn't going to be the easiest team to do it against. There's excellent goaltending, good talent up front. They're hungry as well. And, it really comes down to who's going to score the first goal, doesn't it, Durs?
Well, man, You give up the first goal, and what does that do to your confidence again? You start chasing a game again. It's score first, score last, and keep scoring. You can't play like you did against the Islanders. That didn't work. You tried to sit on a lead for, the whole third period against a good, team that doesn't like to take a lot of high risk chances, so they don't give you much. I don't know. Balls out.
It reeked of desperate. I think since when does the Oilers sit on a 1-goal lead? And all of a sudden in the last 2 games we've had 1-goal leads, and Tippett goes back to his Arizona days and starts playing as left wing lock, and now the team's losing it. The games, and sure we're getting loser points, but there's another pattern developing, and now we can't hold leads either. There's some pretty glaring stats out there when you just look at the pure wins and losses. When we give up the first goal, we're 8-12-2. When we score first, we're undefeated and 10-0.
Pretty telling.
You score when we're leading after the first period, we are 10-0. When we are trailing after the first period, we're 0-11-2. First goal wins, man.
Yeah. and you know, I kind of feel like it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. So I mean, get out.
It's our identity.
Get out.
I heard you ask our listenership last night. Sorry for missing the show. I'm sure I get a Dad of the Year award for that somewhere, but that's down the road. That's our identity. You asked what it is. Is having a good power play? Maybe. It's that we're done after the first goal. We're either going to win the game or lose the game.
And to me,
why do the poor starts keep happening, right? Like, that's the key to the game tonight for the next 10 games. That's the key is getting a good start, getting a jump, getting going out there. And, you know, you mentioned putting Connor out on the first shift. I don't know. Why can't we start? Is it who's starting? Is it the energy? Is it the coaching? Is it the system? Is it the confidence? It might be all of them right now, and none of it's firing. So I don't know where you start, whether it's just a couple of big hits or, just not giving up a 5-bell chance in the first 20 seconds of the game. Like, that'd be nice.
Or you know what, like I was getting at, go, throw all your chips on the table and start McDavid and Draisaitl together. Start them. Give them that first shift. You don't want to stay that way. You want balance in your lineup, but go get a goal. Go get that first goal.
Go get possession. Go get a couple shots. Go do anything that's not getting scored on, man. Right. Right. At least in that Islanders game, it took them 14 minutes, right? Like, it's not even that. Like, it's in the last 7 of the 8 games, we've let up the first 2 goals. Yeah. We've let them get up 2-0 in 7 of the last 8. Right. Like, talk about digging yourself a grave before you've even hit the ice, man. Like, it's the key to the game. There's no doubt we both agree there. So that's what we want to see. I think if we can get a good jump, get a good start, score the first goal, draw some penalties, keep their feet moving. I heard a lot of post-game comments about being tired. I heard a lot of post-game comments about, having a good effort out there, which I'm not sure how that qualifies when they didn't get a shot for 15 minutes. So I don't know, maybe the Oilers' definition of effort and execution is different than mine right now, but it doesn't look like they're executing, and it doesn't look like they're firing, even though their post-game comments said that they were. And just bad puck luck. You can't keep saying that. They looked bad at times last game. So, full 60, at least 50 minutes, a good start, the first goal, draw some penalties, move your feet, no excuses. Like, we're tired. You've been in the same hotel for this entire road trip. Why are you tired? You had 11 days off.
You got a lot of time at the end of this trip too. It's you're going to be on a little siesta 5-day break, I think, and then you play a game you play a game and have another 5-day break or something like that. Like, the schedule's going to get real stupid here coming up. So nothing to save it for. Mark Messier kind of theology. Leave it all out there, and you make your own luck. If you're forcing the issue, you'll get calls. I don't feel like there was a lot really in that Islander game that was missed. I saw a high stick, and I think Barry took a kind of a cross check to the head. Okay, so two misses.
There's a late hit on McDavid. You could debate the overtime goalie thing too, but whatever. It's another topic.
Yeah, but to cry the blues over officiating in that one, I'm sorry, I'm not going to accept that as something that has any validity. It was a pretty well called game in my opinion, because there wasn't really a lot to call.
As long as it goes both ways, right? It's just tough to see 2 penalties in 3 games when there's a lot more than that going on.
Right, but in that Islander game, we didn't force the issue. We didn't. Too content to just let plays die instead of really, bust into the net with everything you have and forcing defensemen to take you down and that kind of thing. It wasn't there.
I think you kind of said it in our, we had a chat before we were supposed to be on the air together last night. And, you told me in our pregame chat there, our pre-pod chat, that you feel like Tippett has stopped playing or coaching to try to win, and he's started to coach to not lose. Right. And to me, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, bro, because that's the difference between going out and pushing the pace or sitting back and waiting for it to happen. It almost looks like that's what Tippett's fallen back on in the last few games. Like there's been a lot of, one man pressure and five guys back, or at least three guys back, or four guys are back, or three guys back, really defensive type of hockey, which doesn't suit our style. We're going to run and gun and live or die with that. So I don't know. What do you think about that? You mentioned it to me yesterday, but your words are better than mine.
Yeah, the third period against the Islanders, I really saw, more of a trap game where two forwards would kind of stop around the circles when the defenseman would be trying to corral the puck and make a play from behind the net. They're letting them make the first pass. They weren't forcing the issue. You're not trying to create mistakes, right? By having a high pressure game. You're letting them dictate, and hoping they miss a pass. Basically, that's what you're hoping for. Instead of forcing that, you force the issue. You force a defenseman to make that play a little quicker, or you lay a lick on him, and that just wasn't happening. They were drawing back, and as a result, there was no shots through 15 minutes of the third period. Because you were
over 15.
Yeah, you were letting the Islanders, play their game, and I'm sorry, this team isn't the Minnesota Wild under Jacques Lemaire. They're not a a trap team. They're just not. You've got and you took guys like Jesse Puljujarvi and Zach Hyman and Warren Foegele out of what they're good at doing. And that's what
I was just going to say. You took it off the tip of my tongue. You don't go get those players to create forecheck and to create a cycle when you're just going to send one man in. And it was for 10 minutes. It felt like they dumped the puck in and then just let the Islanders carry the puck back out or get the puck back out. And they were content to do it. Like it was playing scared. Maybe you're playing with no confidence, or I don't know what you want to chalk it up to.
It's a matter of playing, not to lose rather than playing to win. You're not pushing for that insurance goal. You're sitting back and hoping that you can play a whole period of mistake-free hockey where you're not giving up much, but you're letting them do whatever they want, and it didn't work. And I don't think it does work. I don't think it does work with this team. And I don't know. I just, we got away with that in 2006 a little bit against Detroit. They played a trap, right? Craig McTavish instilled a trap with those guys, and it worked against Detroit because they really weren't expecting it. But now, coaches recognize right away, okay, they're sitting back, so take your time back there, make a play, and get out and get pucks deep. And I think you have to push for turnovers with this group, and I think you have the personnel to do it. You've got Puljujarvi, who's a great forechecker. You've got Hyman, who's a great forechecker. And Foegele,
Yeah.
And McDavid can pressure anybody. He's fast and he's in your face right away, and he can force mistakes. And you need to have that. And let's just sit back and hope they don't come back on us. Well, guess what?
Yeah. That's not our style. We're just a better proactive team than a reactive team.
And the thing that bothered me, I guess, more than that even is you got into overtime and you tried the exact same thing that didn't work the day before. This is Einstein's definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Let's play Leon and Connor a minute and a half, shifts out there when the other team's changing in overtime, around 35 to 45 seconds. And I think that's going to work. It's the second game of a back-to-back. You would have thought, okay, well, let's tone it down a little bit. It didn't work yesterday. Today, they're probably even more tired. But no, let's just, I don't know, shortening your bench in overtime instead, because most teams will use 3 sets of forwards. Let's just go to 2. Just leave Puljujarvi and Bouchard on the bench and take away your probably better defensive players and give Barry more time and rookie in Ryan McLeod and Yamamoto. I don't know. I'm and nothing against Yamamoto and Barry, but to only use 2, Nurse and Barry really on the back end and 2 sets of forwards up front. Hyman did get a couple of shifts as well, but it just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see Bouchard in overtime, especially when his, draft,
well,
sibling in Noah Dobson scores the goal against us. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and Puliarvi can skate, and he's a good forechecker, and he's defensively responsible. So what's the holdup here? What's the drawback? Or you sit him because he's not a centerman? Is that the thinking? I have no idea where that thinking comes from.
yeah.
And he's probably our top, our third best forward that we have. And you're just going to bench him in crunch time. It just I don't get it. I really don't.
Well, with new Jody certainly is. Well, we agree that it's a must-win game. We agree that the key to the game is scoring first. Last things before we get out of here. What's your prediction?
Yeah, man. I'm every time you've done this to me the last 2 times, I've been basically shot in the face. I really want them to win this hockey game, but I don't know. There's this black cloud hanging over this team that needs to, be gone.
Use the force, Luke. What does your gut say?
Yeah. I don't know, man. McDavid missing morning skate. I'm kind of expecting big things from him, so maybe that's enough to get it done. I'll say they win, but I'm not going to give you a score. I hope they blow them out, but I don't know.
I'm going to pull a Dursa answer. I'm going to give you like 3.
Perfect.
They score first, they win 5-2. They don't score first, we lose 4-1.
Yeah.
My gut, I don't think we're going to be there, man.
Yeah. Well,
I think we lose this one, and then we pick up the next game against Toronto when McDavid wants to show up Matthews.
Yeah. I'm going to say that I think Mikko has a good game again. So I think a blowout from the Rangers, I don't see it, but maybe a blowout's what really needs to happen. Either way, it either solves some problems, with the confidence of this group, it gets them back to feeling good if they win in a blowout. But if they lose in a blowout, man, heads will roll. I really... And when I say that, I'll preface it by, I don't think you're going to can the guy when there's one more game on the trip. But if they get skunked on this trip, I don't see how he saves his job. I really don't.
If it's not getting fired, but let's save that debate for the next episode, my friend. Yeah, I think this is still going to be a tough one. It's a type of game that we, I think Trouba can grind us down. I think there's some guys on this team now that can play aggressive. The Rangers have bulked up, and they're going to come out hungry as well. So maybe they get their shit together after this, and they can win a track meet versus Toronto before flying home. So that's my prediction. That's all I got for you this time, buddy. Fun hopping on pregame with you, though, and maybe we should do this more often.
Yeah, it was all right.
By the way, you're missing like a good Sherlock Holmes smoking pipe, some slippers, and I think that would suit that backdrop just well.
And the mission control ready for launch.
Maybe bring the young one on the show. He can calm the road a bit, and then you can be the third best looking Dursa that's ever been on Straight Off the Pipe.
There we go. Yeah, I hope they win tonight, because you know what? There's a human side to the. To a coach and all that, and I like Dave Tippett as a person. I don't have anything wrong with him, but from a tactical standpoint, a player personnel standpoint, not how long has he been here, and they don't really have an identity other than getting scored on first this year.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's really their identity. I really don't think they have one. I think that's a result of their play, but that. When you think of the Edmonton Oilers and how they play, I don't really have anything there. Like, they're not a, pound you in the corner kind of team. They're not a...
It's true.
There's some skill on their team, but it's not like I wouldn't call them a skilled team through and through. They're not the fastest team in the league anymore. They're a good hockey. They're a good hockey team, but no real clear-cut identity. And I think that's things that need to be figured out before they really start to go places.
Yep. Time to find one.
I hope they win tonight, and I hope that they Toronto makes me nervous always. They seem to have trouble sometimes against the Leafs. But, you know, unless it's McDavid walking Morgan Riley, those are always entertaining. But I don't know. I'm gonna hope that Connor comes out and he's just a man possessed and ends the night with a hat trick and a couple of assists and we win a hockey game.
Well, if we can pull this one off and the Toronto game, that makes me another Nostradamus because I said 2 for 3 on the road trip. So
what does scare me though, honestly, is that, you know, they face adversity early and they just kind of go out of this game in a whimper and you know, a dog that's been beat with no bark, you know, and too many games like that. Like, you know, under Tippett, 9 straight, you know, 9 straight. Their first time they lost back-to-back games, they ended up losing 6 games in a row. And then they win 2 against a little bit of a lesser competition. And then they drop 3 more.
Doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, and then they drop 3 more, and it's, you know, and those games that they're losing, is there a big check? You know, does somebody get mad in a scrum and do anything? No.
What does lesser competition even mean anymore, man? Like, the Islanders are last place in the Metro. The Devils are 7th.
Right.
You know, sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't. Against the good teams, we seem to do okay. Against the poor teams, we rarely do. But as I've proved to you earlier, it's about scoring the first goal.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I'll wrap it up soon, but just like it bothers me to watch a team with what they have because I think they're more talented than the results they're getting.
For sure.
And it bothers me because I think I don't think Dave Tippett actually has lost the room. I agree. I think they're still buying into what he says and doing what he says, but I think it's a flawed.
I agree.
I think it's a flawed plan, and it's not working.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well said, brother.
All right. Let's hope they can get off the schneid here and get a win. I don't want to see this continue anymore. I'm done with it, and you know we're about probably 20 minutes from puck drop. So everybody, cheers. Thanks if you tuned in. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Please like and subscribe the video if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe to the Heavy Hockey Network. And if you want to read some hockey articles on the heavyhockey.com, there's some pretty good stuff there. I've written a couple terrible articles you can check out, but there's some other ones from some pretty talented people on there. You can always listen to the Forever 99 podcast with Eric Friesen and catch at Oilers Live Tuesday nights, usually 7 o'clock Mountain, unless there's a game that day. Sometimes he does a kind of a post-game show or a pre-game. Dash has been a part of that a few times. It's great to catch up with you today, Dash, and at some point in January here, Lars Kaliu is going to come back on with his Australian buddy, Bloke Franklin. He's on Twitter. He lives in Australia, and he hasn't missed an Oiler game, I think, since Bernie Nichols was, I don't know, but he catches them all, and he's a pretty funny guy. He's also a comedian in Australia there, and Lars' buddy.
Yeah. It's always fun to let Lars come on and take over our show.
The Lars takeover, yeah.
Hashtag Lars takeover.
Keep your sticks on the ice and keep reaching for the stars. Go Oilers, go. We will catch you next time.
Go Oilers, go.
Thank you.
We could plan whatever we want for Lars, but he'll be asking the questions. That'll be fun.
That was good last time, though. He's good. He's at the game tonight in MSG, so hopefully the Oilers can win for him.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. No kidding. We need it too.
Our good luck charm in the Big Apple. Thanks for listening, everybody.